everyone, Cypher here. How's it going? Hope you're doing well, hope you're doing safe. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the time that I went to professional wrestling training. It actually wasn't that long ago. It was like maybe a few months back. It was just around the time of MFF. At the time, I was going through a lot in my life and starting to think about ways that I could improve my life and my quality of life. And I thought maybe I could try my hand at becoming a professional wrestler. So as a kid, I grew up watching wrestling. I loved watching wrestling growing up. And here lately, I've really enjoyed watching AEW. I'm not a big fan of WWE. If that's your thing, that's okay. But it's not my thing. I used to be back in the day, but the product got really not to my taste. So I signed up for a professional wrestling school in my area. I was actually very surprised that there was one, but apparently it is common around here. Who knew? It's the South. So on my first day I get there and I'm told to do a bunch of workouts. So apparently when you are first starting out especially, they like to blow you up, quote unquote. They like to give you all these workouts to do before you even get in the ring. And if you're not in shape, those workouts will indeed blow you up. I mean, even if you are in shape, the workouts are pretty crazy. As somebody who's a professional athlete and has been one for a while, it might not be a big deal to them. But if you're like me and you had just come off of being a regional manager for a company and have been sitting on your butt for months, it's gonna blow you up. So if you go to professional wrestling school, be prepared for that. Start working out maybe 5 or 6 months. I had to set my light. Maybe 5 or 6 months before you even go to the school. They're going to be making you do push-ups, lunges, all kinds of stuff. So just be prepared. Again, I was not prepared. So it was quite a shock for my system. On my first day coming out, I could not move my arms up to my head. It actually took about a week before I could do that. So I will say, despite my shortcomings going in, everybody was really nice and supportive. They try to give you pointers and tips here and there. There are a few things that you have to learn by actually going through it. Unfortunately, there are little, I guess you would call it, trade secrets here and there. It's just to keep everybody safe and on the same page and, you know, have camaraderie, if the way you say it, camaraderie. There we go. Because if you're doing a bunch of dangerous stuff together, you really need to trust each other. And no, it's not real fighting, but it's very dangerous and it does hurt. The ring, I will say this, the ring is hard. If you land on it the wrong way, you're gonna mess yourself up. Even if you do land on it the wrong way, you're gonna get the breath knocked out of you. It is like being in a car crash. So I think the only thing that saves you is like when you hit the mat, you do kind of bounce a little bit, just a little bit. There's no springs under there. It's just thin mat, 2x4s, and steel beams. When you hit it, you do kind of bounce a little bit. So you don't come to a very sudden stop like you would on pavement or anything. So it wouldn't mess up your internal organs, but it will give you a bit of whiplash if you're not prepared, and it'll be it's very hard and it's very stiff. You go in the wrestling school, be prepared for that. It's like being in a car crash every night. Now, the reason I went to professional wrestling school is that, as I mentioned at the time, things weren't going so well for me, so decided to go in and try my hand at an actual sport, which I do believe that wrestling is an actual sport in a way. You really do need to be a professional to do it. It is very physical. It does hurt. You do get messed up every night. You need to be in the best damn shape of your life to do it. So I consider it a sport. It is like going... But actually, honestly, I've never been through military school, but from what I've heard, it's kind of like military school. You need to be in the best shape of your life. or you're gonna get eaten alive. As I mentioned, I was not in the best shape of my life. I was in an uphill battle. Fortunately, my instructor knew that, so he was like, as long as you're improving, I guess you can stay. He was very supportive. After a while, I started to notice that I was overprotecting myself. I was very conscious about hitting my head like on the mat or anything else, or basically I've had concussions in the past and I didn't want any more, and I'm very self-conscious about having concussions. And when you're in a situation like in a wrestling ring where you need to also protect somebody else from being seriously hurt, overprotecting yourself and over focusing on yourself is not a good thing. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't the thing for me right now. You know, when I got into it, I was already like in my upper 30s in age. When I was younger, I could probably take the bumps a lot better. I could probably jump off of a 2 or 3 story building and be fine. I was coming home with injuries every day that I went. It got to the point where I was like, do I want to be in a wheelchair and potentially mess up and have somebody else be in a wheelchair and be responsible for that? Do I really want that life? And I came to the conclusion that no, I don't want to put somebody through that. I want to put myself through that. I've taken care of people in the past who had mobility issues, and it's not a fun thing. It would have been selfish for me to be like, okay, I'm going to go through with this, and then end up being in a wheelchair or something, and having to have somebody else take care of me for the rest of my life. I was like, nah, I'm out. It was about a month or two before I realized that. I did go through a lot of stuff. It was a lot of fun, I will say. I will say this, if you want to become a professional wrestler, just do it. As long as you do everything you're told and stay safe about it and are in the right mindset, go ahead and do it. You know, if I can do it for about a month or two, you can do it. Just be really safe about it. Follow the instructions. Also, you're probably going to get hurt a lot, especially starting out. One of the injuries that I had was like on my second day. I didn't quite understand how momentum worked until I got into the wrestling ring myself. You see on TV where they just like whip somebody across the ring and they go running across and they don't stop until they get like hit or run into the ring ropes and bounce off them and whatever. So it kind of looks fake in my opinion. Honestly, once you get going, it's hard to stop. And I learned that the hard way. Your momentum, especially as somebody like me that's almost 200 pounds, when you're going, you're going. You're not going to stop until you run into something. So I did not realize this, so I went to stop right before I got to the ring ropes, and my body carried me the rest of the way, and I kind of slammed into the ring ropes. And if you don't know, a lot of the ring ropes in professional wrestling, except for like in WWE where they use like real rope, but a lot of the ring ropes are steel cables with rubber around them. So those ring ropes are really hard. It gets hard to push down on them. They are very, very tight. So my first instinct was to throw up my arm and leg and kind of like bounce off of it or whatever. And in doing so, I messed up my leg. I hit the ring rope with my leg, and basically it's like running into a steel cable with your leg. That's basically what I did. So I messed up my leg, and I was hopping around for about a week or two. Yeah, watch out for the ring. It'll bite you. I also stacked myself. I landed wrong, and I actually landed all the way up here on the back of my neck and my shoulder with all my weight, and basically stacked myself, and I bruised my rib. I had to go back in the next week. That was fun. Yeah, it's a lot of hurting yourself before you learn not to. Yeah, that was my experience in professional wrestling school. I mean, I figured I was late in life to do it, but I still wanted to do it anyway, just so that I could say that I tried at least. And I'm glad I did. I had fun. Yeah, is there anything crazy that you've done in life? Let me know down in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye. Bye. join the Dark Order.